I know Geo, there's so much innovation happening in terms of what's possible. And it's really kind of an amazing time to think about what's the role of the store, right? So given everything that we've gone through, we've been really forced to think about the possibilities, think about omni-channel, think about new ways to excite and delight the customer. And we've already seen how so many of things have impacted us. And it's just incredible to see. Chris, in our world, we've been very scrappy. And I think we're identifying ways to really think out of the box. What is the role of a window? What is the role of the environment? And how do we think about kind of making a more seamless environment? So I'm really excited about this, and I'm going to pass it to Gio.
Sure. Thank you, Michelle, for joining us. I think this is, first of all, I wanted to introduce myself. And Raul, thank you for saying my name so well. Many people don't do that very well, but you know me for a few years. This is actually our second round at WindowsWear doing this. Last year, of course, was very different because we were in person in Hudson Yard. And I think the experience was definitely different. But we couldn't give up, of course. We have learned how to cope and how to move along with Zoom. So hopefully you're going to take as much out of those 2 hours than we are. Of course, we have spent a lot of time getting ready for this. I've been a coach for close to 10 years, actually. Next week is 10 years for me here. It feels like sometimes 20, sometimes it feels like a week, I must say. And you know what, there's nothing else I would rather be. I think every day, I think what Michelle said about innovation, I think Tapestry is pushing us, to definitely do new things every day to kind of stay relevant. And I think being the second year, the reason why we talked about Store of the Future is, as everybody's expressed in their work, everybody kind of started by analyzing why the landscape has changed. And I think that's why all of you guys are in the final 10. And regardless of who the winner is, I think you're all winners at this point, because I think having made it through hundreds of projects is already a huge achievement. But everybody was able to analyze why the environment was changed, why the fact that we cannot go back to how things were when we go back to stores, right? And to Michelle's point, somehow COVID has pushed us to go to places where maybe we should have been already. And some of the best brands after this pandemic are going to be the ones that are going to definitely think differently. And they're also going to come with solutions to surprise and delight the customer. So competition, I think, is even higher than it's ever been. And I think most of you guys have actually thought about the fact that you can buy a bag online, right? Everybody that was not able to buy a bag online, now they've learned how to do it because that's the only choice they had. So why go to a store? They need to have something else, right? And I think most of you guys spoke to the emotional value that you have when you get to stores. Most of you guys spoke about technology. Some of you guys more than others. This idea of creating an omni-channel experience, which I think is becoming important. To be honest with you, I still crave the idea of going to a store and touching, but that's just a personal thing. But not everybody's going to feel comfortable from day one. The other big trend that most of you guys touched upon is this idea of entertainment, community, and hospitality into stores. So can't wait to go through each of the projects. And Chris and I spent a lot of time because every single project was really, really strong. So it was actually even harder than last year to kind of come to the final 10 and to the final 3. So, but again, before we kind of go through all of that, I wanted to congratulate everybody for being here. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Chris, my partner in crime at Kate.
Hi, thank you, Gio. And he's a hard act to follow, and Michelle, but I will do my best. So just to introduce myself a little bit, I'm leading Kate Spade visual merchandising and all 3D and VM production. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but basically all the product placement in stores. I'm going to go a little bit tactical because I think it's good to ground us a little bit. Gio's up here. I'm a little more down here. So Gio used to be my boss as well at Coach, but just to start by introducing myself. So I'm leading VM at Kate Spade globally. I moved back to the US during COVID. I've spent the last 15 years in Asia, actually with the Coach brand. So I started in Tokyo for 5 years, and then I lived in Shanghai and led Asia Pacific for Coach for 10 years. And then I have this amazing opportunity to move to New York and lead Kate Spade globally. So a little bit about myself, and then just a little bit about what I do. So at leading VM means a lot more than probably people think, and some of you may understand, and some of you may be learning, but really we manage all the product placement in store, how the store should flow, shift. Sometimes we're moving fixtures, breaking our backs, climbing ladders, sweating, dirty. Sometimes we're making things pretty and pointing. It's a varying job, but leading all aspects of that in store, as well as 3D window development, and creation of 2D window cleans, and then also the behind the scenes team. So we manage the VM production team who kind of make it all happen with the vendors and getting things, all that not fun things like spreadsheets and costing and that piece of it as well. And to what Gio just said, I think you guys are all to land in the top list out of hundreds of applicants really says a lot, and we're super excited and honestly incredibly impressed. And we're learning from you as you're learning from us, and it's a collaboration, and we're so excited to be here with you tonight. I will not hold us up too much longer, as I know you're excited to move this forward, but just a few comments about why the store of the future to add on to what both Michelle and Gio said. Is I think, as we come out of COVID, it was already a time of change pre-COVID. Living in Asia, some of the projects we saw a lot of leaning into digital and experiential, that is happening out there. And I think Asia is a front leader. Will that come to the US? Who knows? Do we need to think differently for each market specifically? I believe yes. What will that look like? I think we're all learning, and companies are going to need to think differently to survive in this, economic situation. It's also such an amazing pause moment to really enjoy the people around you that you work with, your families. Also, we've seen so many creative ideas and new ways of thinking, not only because we were forced to, but we also enjoyed the experience of getting there, albeit painful. So I do think it's a tough moment for everyone, but it's also a magical moment for retail to rethink a lot of what we do. With that, I think at Kate Spade, we're super scrappy, and Michelle said that. I'm going to hand over to Hillary because she's raising her hand.
I have a video to share with you all, just a little bit about Tapestry, our purpose here, and just give you a little bit of an inside scoop, because I know that we wish we could be in the office right now to show you just a little bit about us in person. But of course, we can't do that today, at least. But here's just a little bit of background. Bear with me as I share my screen. One moment here. Okay.
There is no creation without the intertwining of divergent people and ideas that pushes norms, pulls out the unexpected, expands the possible. Without those differences that challenge and stretch us, we stay where we are, and we have bigger plans. So for us, when we say that we create, that means we reach for bold dreams, high standards, the differences that challenge, the breakthroughs found in the balance, the impact we can only achieve together. It takes being open-minded, determined, as vulnerable as we are brave. When we get it right, we realize greater courage, joy, and inner strength. and our collective power grows. Individually, we're iconic. Together, we can be revolutionary. There is no creation without the tensions that open us to more. Beauty and function, magic and logic, accessibility and aspiration. That's where you'll find us at work. We're here to stretch each other, our brands, our industry, society. We're here to stretch what's possible.
And with that, I'll pass it back to Gio and Chris.
Oh my God, actually, it's funny because I'm curious to see what people think about the video, because when we first watched a tapestry, it was a little bit of an emotional moment. I don't know, we're very close to the brand internally, and I see most of the tapestry colleagues smiling or nodding. But this is the first time for all of you guys to watch that. What did you guys, what did it make you feel? I'm curious.
I love the feeling of connection to the brand and tapestry as a whole. It was a really inviting video, and it just really made you want to be a part of something bigger. And I think tapestry does a good job of offering that.
Love that.
And to sort of take from what Daniel had just said, I think it also presents American ingenuity in a new way too. It seems almost approachable, and it sort of embeds you in the process of creating these products for the public.
Yeah, I love that. I think, all of the three brands are New York centric, to your point. And I think, it's important, as you guys start studying the brands a little bit more, there's definitely a different point of view, right? All three brands are from New York City, but I think having the different point of view is critical. So I'm glad you catch that, Tarek. Hali, did you ever?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can I come hang out with y'all? Like, I'm so, it just made me want to be in that environment with everyone, sharing, and just re-experiencing that creativity that cultivates from just the one act of being outside and touching people and interacting with them. I loved it though.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that video was made pre-COVID. It would have been a different place, especially everybody now is craving to kind of go back to the office and brainstorming together, sketching on boards. We have learned new ways of working from home, and it's definitely not the same. So definitely counting down to the days when we can go back and be real humans again. But any other observations from anybody?
I'll share that it was very uplifting. It made me feel happy, and I loved all the colors. It was
right.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I think what we want to do is, again, it is a little bit of a different game this year because we are not in the room. We cannot go around a long table like we did last year. So, this will be super organic. So we kind of wanted the 10 final students to really go around the room. So go around the Zoom and maybe just, introduce yourself also for myself and Chris, so we don't get your names wrong in the next few slides, so that we can learn your names properly, kind of where you're from, why you applied, and maybe introduce if you have your parent or, I don't know, a loved one on the call, or a teacher, which is as important as parents nowadays, if you can introduce them. So super casual, in no particular order. If you can just maybe go around the Zoom and just say a few words.
I can start if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Hello, my name is Gabriela Alcala. I am a Wayne State University student. I am 26 years old and I am studying fashion merchandising. I grew up in Southwest Detroit, Michigan, more specifically an area called Mexican Town. So I'm really involved in that community there. And I applied because of Monica Yanefsky, our professor. She really pushed us to have the confidence to believe that we could ever even be picked for an opportunity like this. So I feel very honored and humbled to be here.
Oh my God, Monica, you on the call? Do you want to say a few words? We love teachers like you.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Monica Yanefsky. I am a professor here in Detroit at Wayne State University. And I teach, one of the courses I teach is a visual merchandising and display course. And I came across this opportunity and I knew that the students had to take part in it. So I said, you must do it as an assignment. And remember that, you know, this is completely possible. So I'm very proud of the work they put into this.
Amazing. And you know what, it kind of makes me think a little bit about stretch the possibilities from the video, you know, like you kind of put yourself your own limits, but, you know, sometimes you need to dream big to kind of, you know, create your own path. So, well, Gabriela, welcome. And we're glad to have you. Anybody else? We got 9 more. Don't be shy.
I'll go. So, hey everyone, my name is Daniel Schrei. I'm 28. I'm a senior at Marymount University in Virginia, and I'm studying interior design. I actually entered in the mentorship program last year and was a finalist and actually got 3rd place. And when I saw the competition come around this year, I made sure to double check the rules. And once I realized I could enter in again, I did not miss that opportunity. So here I am, and I'm really grateful to be here again. I'm so happy. And Jessica Bonis is my professor. She was actually my professor for retail and hospitality design when I entered the first time. So a big shout out to her for exposing us to this opportunity.
Amazing. Hey, Jessica.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks so much for this opportunity. We're so excited to be here. Again, I did not get a chance to come last year when we sent a few students. This has been an amazing opportunity. Like Daniel said, I'm an assistant professor of interior design at Marymount University. So our students study visual merchandising through retail and hospitality work. And actually this competition last year was brought to our attention by our librarian.
Wow.
Yeah, which was really amazing. So those professors look to your librarians for all these great opportunities and subscriptions. And I'm grateful to her and so happy to be here again with Daniel and Nesreen.
Amazing. Yeah, welcome back, Daniel.
I can go next if that's
cool. Of course.
My name is Riley Berner. I'm a student at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I'm from Norfolk, Nebraska, 22 years old. And with me today is my mom, Amy Berner. She has her camera off. I don't think she wants to talk. And my professor, Michael Burton, also at university. And the reason I guess I applied, I don't know, I've been pretty eager for an opportunity, just kind of waiting for the right moment to, I guess, take one. And I remember Mike Neemzow was at the PAC, which is the Professional Advisory Council that comes to Lincoln, talks to the students, we can ask them questions, stuff like that. And I talked to Mike outside of one of the classrooms and got his business card, etc. Called him up this year, said I was looking for an opportunity, and he told me to apply for this. So kind of down the road now, that's where I'm at.
Amazing. Well, so good to have you. You know, we won't ask your mom to say hello, but I think it's so special to have your mom here. So wherever you are, welcome to you as well. Such a cute story.
I will gladly say hello, but I'm.
Oh, hey, Amy.
Hi, I'm in my first grade classroom, so I can't have my camera on.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Well, we're glad to have both of you on with us.
I've got students in here, so I'm trying to do this while I'm teaching.
Oh I mean, if COVID has taught us something this year, is that teachers are definitely heroes and they can triple task, quadruple task. So I'm glad to have you on board.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Perfect. Who's next?
I can go next. Hi, everybody. My name is Paige Grace. I'm currently a freshman at Indiana University. studying marketing and international business, and I have a minor in apparel merchandising. I actually just finished up an internship at WindowsWear, so Raul actually really pushed me to apply for this mentorship. It's really cool to see it from both sides. So that's kind of why I applied. And then my mom, Jamie, is with me here today.
Do we get a few words from mom? Yes, we even have a backdrop. I love that. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, everybody. I'm just really excited to be here to support Paige, and I've heard a lot of her internship that she's been doing and her journey of applying for this project. So it's really exciting to be here and just participate and watch.
Amazing. And Paige, you'll have to tell us all the back secrets of WindowsWear when the group is not here. I'm sure there is tons, but maybe with a drink at some point. Okay.
I can go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My name's Vanna Wilkie. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Metro Detroit, but I go to school at Wayne State University. And with me today is my professor, Monica, and also my two classmates who are also finalists. Congrats to you guys too. And I found out about this opportunity also from Monica. She originally assigned it as an assignment. And, you know, after reading over it, I thought it was like such an amazing idea, and I wanted to take part of it, obviously. And, you know, I was just so excited about it because I love the brand coach. I love Kate Spade. So yeah, that's how I found out about it.
Amazing. Well, welcome.
Do you want to go next, Maggie?
Sure. Hi, I'm Maggie Ryan. I'm 19 and from Columbus, Ohio, but I go to school at Indiana University, where I'm a freshman studying marketing with a minor in apparel merchandising. And I actually found out about this opportunity just through the emails that WindowsWear always sends out. But one of the reasons I'm so interested in retail and the fashion industry is the fact that it's always changing and evolving. And brands have to also evolve alongside it if they want to keep up. And I feel like the prompt for this program just really spoke to that. And so I was really interested in submitting a project, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So I'm glad to be here.
Great.
Thank you,
Wow.
Maggie.
Thank you.
Jocelynne, you want to go next?
Yeah, hi, my name is Jocelynne Martha, and I'm from California. I found out about this opportunity because I searched for it. I looked for competitions or stuff like that. And I'm a fashion design major. And yeah, I just really want to do this.
Great.
Great.
I can go next if that's okay. Hello, my name is Nesreen. I am originally from Egypt. I'm 19 and I attend Marymount like Daniel. I'm studying interior design, and I found out about this from Jessica Bones. She is one of my professors. And one day I was just talking to her and I was like, I really want to put myself out there. And she was like, girl, have you heard of WindowsWear? And I was like,
go.
Oh, I haven't. And then she's like, how did you not hear about it? And then I was like, no, I kind of live under a rock because of COVID, but I was actually really excited to do this because I was like, it's about time we start talking about this, because I feel like right when COVID happened, I don't know if it's just me, but all the stores were just they just started going downhill. I've been going to Zara recently and it's a mess. I don't know if any of you guys have went to it. Literally, people are pushing themselves each other, and there's just clothes everywhere, and it's everyone's trying to get away from everybody, and I'm like, this is really not it. So I feel like this competition has really made me think about how stores could progress and become better in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. And by the way, I think I was not going to say that because it's competition, but Zara is pretty much a mess every time, but now more than ever. But you didn't hear that from me. This is not being recorded.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad they don't look like their online presence is what I would say. Their app is pretty amazing.
Anyway, I think we got one more. We have a grand finale. I think it's Tarek right?
Yes, I actually, one of my colleagues is interior designer at Inditex, which is the parent company of Zara. So I'll make sure to keep all of this under wraps. My name is Tarek Meah. I'm studying environmental design at the University College London. And I applied to this competition since I have an interest in sort of the intersection of modernity, futurism, and the urban form. Also exploring the different ways in which the built environment is a physical manifestation of things like material culture. And so in my submission, I really did employ an anthropological lens, and it was really enjoyable to sort of take theory and create something from, you know, what old people have been saying for the past 50, 60, 70 years.
Wow, I think you spoke better than I did. Thank you for that.
Perfect. I think all of us introduce ourselves, so I think we can go ahead and we have this presentation prepared where
we forgot one. You're missing Hali, right? Hali?
Yeah.
Hali, is that how you say your name?
There she is.
My apologies. My apologies.
Hali Berry. Not comparing myself to her, but that's how you say my name.
Oh, like Halle Berry. Got it. I got the reference now. Okay. It's like the Oscars was last night, but you're doing it the day after.
Exactly. I'm Hali. I am a fashion merchandising student at Wayne State in Detroit, Michigan. Monica Yanefsky, my professor, pushed all of us to apply for this, and I'm so happy that she did, because I always felt like, you know, like people who are from like some random girl in Michigan is not about to get some crazy kind of internship. So I was just so happy to even like hear about it, and even more honored to just like be here in the finals with all of you. Just feels like such a blessing. So thanks so much, everyone. And best of luck to everyone.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Thank you,
What a finale. And Ro, just one thing, if I can say, I think, you know, Hali, you said something that it's very important at Tapestry, which is this idea that it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, how old you are, what school you come from, and if you work hard, you can get anywhere. And I think it's something that Chris and I are really building our team on that. So whether you're from Michigan, whether you are from, Chris, what is that, Omaha?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, no idea what that is, but you know, like whatever you're from.
He really has no idea where that is, by the way. It's not a joke.
You know, I love New York City and that's it. But do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter where you're from. I think it's a big part of our values. And it's also great to see such a diverse set of candidates here, whether it's experience, whether it's about schools that you come from or what year you're in. I think it's even more diverse than last year. So I know it took WindowsWear a lot of work to get here. So I also want to thank you guys for sending us such great candidates, because it was really hard. I know we're going to go through one by one, but before we get through that, I just wanted to congratulate everybody again.
Perfect. And I hope they don't hate me, but I would love if the rest of the Tapestry team could introduce themselves, because they also have jobs that these students could learn from, meaning Hillary, Joanna, Pedro, Mark, that is there. If you guys are able to introduce themselves, I would love for everybody to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Hillary. I know that I spoke a little bit earlier and I realized I did not introduce myself, but my name is Hillary. I work in talent acquisition here at Tapestry. I help support all three brands, particularly with creative recruitment, along with my manager, Diana Costescu, who is here as well. So it's great to be here. We love doing events like these, and they're so impactful and special. So thank you all for joining us.
Hi, everyone. I am Diana Costescu. I'm Director of Talent Acquisition for Tapestry. It's so nice to see everyone here. Just a little bit about me. I've been with the organization 10 years supporting creative recruitment, and this is an amazing opportunity to tap into our future leaders and innovation. So congrats to all of you for being here, and thank you for your effort and contribution.
Who's next?
Chris, you want to maybe introduce your team and then we can go through maybe Kate first and then we can jump into Coach.
Sure. Does Mark, do you want to quickly, I'll let them in. Oh, Michelle's back.
Yeah.
Hi, Michelle. I'll let them just super quickly introduce themselves. Mark, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go very quickly. Hi, very nice to meet all of you and congratulations on being here. My name is Mark Topolowski and I'm the Senior Director of Global VM. I report into Chris and we are a very scrappy brand. So we've said that a few times, but look forward to getting to work with some of you.
Pedro.
What's up, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Pedro. Senior manager for Kate Spade, and I work on the Windows team. And yeah, it's been great. This is my second tapestry job. I used to work at Coach doing pretty much the same thing, windows and pop-ups and things. And now I'm on the other side, and it's really fun. So nice to meet you all.
Perfect. I think everybody has introduced themselves, if I'm correct. Before Gio and Chris review the final projects in front of everybody, I want to say something because, especially to the students, we got hundreds of submissions this year, hundreds, literally hundreds. And there's a very particular reason why you guys are here. Hundreds of those submissions were amazing. They had good ideas. They were well presented, but somehow all of you went that extra mile for your presentation or for submitting your project. And I mean different kind of things like Daniel, who applied last year, he yet applied this year again. So we love that, and we loved his enthusiasm. And of course, he learned from the past, and that reflected in his presentation. Or from Hali, who did a video presentation, and she looked like a TV star. And you know, I never heard like somebody looking with such confidence in my life. So I will learn from you, and I think that really your video was incredible and very creative. And I can go on and go on. You know, Paige that managed to send a submission to this while doing a very hardcore internship at WindowsWear because she was doing a lot of stuff. Gabriela, Vanna, Nesreen, Jocelynne, you guys are so young, you know, 20, 21 something years old, and yet to be applying for these kind of opportunities. What I want to say with this is like, to us for WindowsWear, you guys are overachievers, and we love overachievers. And overachievers to me are somebody who is already doing more than what they should be doing. And you guys taking opportunities like this is going to put you just ahead of everybody's game, especially in cities like New York or Los Angeles, Chicago, whatever you decide to go and pursue your career, because you did things like this, because I mean, look at this, right? What are the chances that you guys have the opportunity when I was a student that I had the chance to speak with somebody like Gio, like Chris, like Diana in a call like this? So thank you so much for taking advantage of this. You know, WindowsWear and Coach and Kate Spade, we can push this contest, but if it wasn't because of the students and because the teachers support this, we wouldn't be here. So my advice, my personal advice is just keep taking the most out of everything, you know, make yourself presentable, put yourself out there, use social media, do favors, ask for something, write thank you notes and emails, you know, all these little things that you guys have done to get here, they clearly work. So just keep doing them. Okay. Perfect. I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna let Gio and Chris lead this presentation.
Yeah, I think Roland, I know that the Kate Spade team was able to introduce, I think we missed a few, there was more people that actually joined. So let's maybe finish that. I think Kristin is on the call, right? I think I see John, Joanna, and Kiri. I don't know if you guys want to say a few words.
Sure.
They thought they got out of it.
I know we have more guests than anticipated. So I think because they represent different parts of the organization, I think it's if you want to say a few words, that would be incredible.
They're amazing, so speak up.
I can start if you want. Hi guys, I'm Kristin Rawl. I have been with the Tapestry brand since 2014. I was on the Coach side with Pedro
and Geo and John for a long time, and now I am a manager in visual production at Kate Spade. So we make all the windows come to life on the global side, on the local side, and Tarek, what you're saying about sustainability and the environment and things like that in the production world, that is super exciting to me. So I did want to call that out to you. And nice to meet all of you guys, and good luck.
Great.
I could go next. I'm Joanna. I'm on the visual experience team under Coach. I've been here for 9.5 years. So I do windows, pop-ups, in-store. I work really closely with John as well, and he'll tell a little bit about himself. And I also work with Kiri and Geo, and then I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, so it's nice to meet everyone. I can't wait to see the projects, so yeah.
I was waiting for John to go,
Kiri,
but
Kiri,
I could
Kiri,
go
yeah,
next.
why don't you go since you
Yeah,
work with Joanna more closely.
so hello everyone, I'm Kiri. I report into Joanna and I work with Geo as well. I help design pop-ups and windows and anything else crazy project that comes through.
Most of them are crazy. Oh my God, John, do you want to round that up?
Yeah, so rounding out the Coach team, I'm John Andrus. I oversee product visual merchandising for Coach for all the our global fleet of stores. I've been here for quite a while, I'm not going to say, but a little bit longer than Joanna. But you know, I'm actually, I have a mask on because I'm here today in our VM photo studio photographing a floor set with real samples, which we love since we can't get out to stores as much. But really excited to be here, and congrats to everyone, and can't wait to see what you're going to present.
Thank you, John. And I think one thing that transpires here, and you know, I'm kind of putting Diana's hat on here, is the mobility in the organization. I think now that we are working with Kate Spade and Showwism, and it's greater than ever. I think if I even think about, you know, Chris and Pedro and Kristin, and you know, the idea that we're actually using internal talent, I know that's something that, as I talk to students, even on other calls or other conferences that I've been on, is definitely something top of mind for students. So I hope you see that, you know, most people that come to Tapestry stay here for some time. If it doesn't work out, usually they're out of the door in the first semester. But, you know, if it's love at first sight, I think, you know, people do move around, and there is, not that the brand is bigger than just the Coach brand, there's a lot of mobility. I think it's a big plus of this. I know Diana and her team do a great job around, you know, like moving and looking at transferable skills to be able to keep developing people from within. So I did want to, you know, end that presentation with that note. Amazing. Raul, I think now we're ready.
Okay,
right? I think we're ready.
You're ready to yell at me that I didn't introduce them, okay?
No, that's okay. I think if somebody else joins at the end, and Joanna is laughing, they'll introduce them at the end. It's okay.
Perfect, okay.
So I guess what we're gonna do now is, you know, like, I think before we kind of go through, it's a little bit like the Oscars, right? We can't just give it out as soon as you get on. Did everybody watch last night? I hope you did.
Of course.
Right, with a glass of wine until the very end. So, you know, we may have speeches here too. So, you know, hopefully everybody's prepared to present and have something written down. But we wanted to kind of go through, you know, the final 10 in no particular order. To kind of say a few words. Of course, we only have one winner for each brand, and we have 3 finalists, but I think it's important to acknowledge everybody, because I think everybody brought something to the table. So I think Chris and I are going to alternate. Again, no particular order. It doesn't mean it's Coach or it's Kate. It's just, we're just going to alternate. So I think we're going to start with.
You start, Gio.
I know, I'm starting with Daniel. I was able to spend time with Daniel live last year. We had photo moments, we have spoken. This year is a little different, but hopefully as important and as powerful. I think one of the reasons why Daniel made it to the top 10 is mainly because I think you were able to, number one, understand how the retail landscape has changed, right? I think for me, if you start a creative process without understanding what's around you and what other people are doing, we are starting with the wrong foot. I think you started with that kind of studying what has changed before you kind of then put your coach lens or your Kate Spade lens on to kind of understand what the future can be. And I think sometimes we need to put ourselves into that situation in a creative world. Believe it or not, there is a lot of data behind creativity, and there is a lot of work that we do to even understand the customer. So I think you did that really well. One of my favorite quotes of your work, you said something along the lines of Instagram is not enough anymore, and I couldn't agree more. I think Instagram now is only one of the multiple medium, especially that Gen Z use. I mean, I literally had to learn TikTok, and I'm pretty older than most of you guys on here, students, but it's just a new ways of working. And I think if as a team, we don't know what the new generation is using, we are not going to attract them. I think you did a good job at exploring how to engage the different audiences. So kudos to that. It was very well written and very well studied.
Thank you.
Giovanni, I think I could use a tutorial on TikTok myself.
That'll be we'll do a session.
We can do a dance together.
And post it. Let's see. I love that.
Okay, next is Gabriela Alcala, is that right? I hope I'm saying that correctly. We thought really beautiful design presentation overall. The layout, the format, the use of color was really beautiful, and a lot of really creative ideas. We also really loved the language you used. I think you, in so many ways, we're speaking the same language I use at work every day. So that really says a lot for your knowledge and how I'm guessing what you've been studying as well. And kudos to your teachers as well, because it really spoke to me. I think some of the one page in specifically about a changing landscape really hit home, where our consumers are looking for simpler ways to engage with brands. It's never been truer, and really a strong store experience includes bringing a consistent message to each and every store, which for us who do VM, that's one of the hardest things we do, is trying to seek for consistency in boxes that are not consistent. You can really thrive to that online, but in the brick and mortar land, that's a really much harder way to get there and get the stores all in the same place. So we strive for excellence there. But overall, I loved your 360 approach and thinking, and how to engage in collaboration with the customer. So thank you. Gio?
Yes, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Hali. Now I'm going to think about Halle Berry all the time. So, I think kind of starting a little bit with the format, I think sometimes it's important to use the right format for this. I think incredible format. I loved your link to sustainability. I do think it's something that we talk a lot about in the teams, both at Kate and Coach. And it's something that, we have been doing a lot more work. Again, we're nowhere close to being perfect, but we're definitely striving for that. I think one of the other pieces that we also talk a lot about, it feels like you were part of some of our meetings, but this idea that, stores will become a center of community for local artists, entertainment. Actually, Joanna in the team is working on a project that touches upon all of that. So I think I love that, with your experience and not having worked in a brand like Coach, you're able to see all of that from the outside, and also you've studied about it. You can tell that you know what you're talking about. And I think I appreciated all of your details in presenting that. And this idea that every store needs to feel different, and not, that every customer is unique, is also something that is very important for us. We are treating every store as a neighborhood store. And, you talk the language that me and Joanna speak every day. So congratulations. I feel like you could be ready for a big project. So well done.
And then next is Jocelynne Malta-Diaz. And I really loved, especially the Kate Spade part of your project. Sorry, Gio.
Totally fine.
But I love, there were some really super joyful ideas. So we strive for joy at Kate Spade. And one of the ideas I really enjoyed was the idea of lighting and flowers changing depending on time of day. I thought that's super clever and also very engaging for the consumer. I also loved kind of the thinking about light overall throughout your presentation, like reflection of the logo on the coach side and kind of different depths and some interactive ideas. And then the using a subway idea as a fitting room was super clever. I thought that was really very cool. And also the airport walking the belt was really super interesting ideas and really thoughtful. So thank you. Gio?
Yes. I'm going to present Maggie, which was also very Kate Spade, but I'm very happy to present that. I think what I liked about Maggie is you went for less ideas and you went into details. You were really bold about, instead of coming up with a lot of different ideas, you really focus yourself into a few ideas. I think the biggest idea that you had was about the hologram, which is new in the world, but it's going to become on everybody's radar very soon after TikTok. I think after we learn that, we need to learn holograms as well, Michelle.
Oh boy.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We can hologram ourselves into those windows. Raul, that's a great campaign that we can do. But I think I kind of loved how you approached it. There is something about creative feedback, but I think I'm giving you a little bit more about the structure of the projects. Sometimes editing yourself is the hardest part. Right. And I think my team and I sometimes struggle because we have so many ideas, but sometimes you need to pick one. And I think you kind of went with one big idea and kind of focus on that. However, on top of that, the way you presented it was very Kate, I must say. So I know Chris and I loved kind of reading this together and kind of going through your presentation. So congrats and good luck.
Great. Thanks, Gio. So the next one is Nesreen Selim. And also very, very nice ideas. I love the mixed medium of your presentation between, she did some hand sketches as well as diagrams and virtual ideas. A lot of thinking about the customer and even some self-service ideas, which I love the idea of the customer sometimes wants to navigate themselves and make it easy for them, like the use of a vending machine or projection ideas. Also, I love that Nesreen thought about coming out of COVID or current COVID, like just self-disinfecting fitting rooms, ideas of laser detecting temperature as you enter a store, so if a customer is entering, you can turn them away, I suppose, or ask them to come back invite them back at a different time or to shop online. But I think, the world's changing and these ideas were really taking it in that direction as well. So really well done. Thank you. Very clever.
I'm going to introduce Paige. So I was incredibly impressed by I think what you pulled together. I think, again, you touched upon two key components that, again, we talk about every day at Coach. The number one being technology. And actually, we have just built an internal tech digital team over the past 12 months, believe it or not. That's why you see all of the new digital ideas out there. And you also touched upon sustainability in a very big way, like many of you guys. So I think those two definitely spoke to me in a big way. But what spoke to me the most was this idea of merging history, so the past with the future. And I think if you think about Coach specifically, this year we're celebrating our 80th anniversary. So sometimes it's always hard creatively to celebrate the past, but also forge yourself this path for the future, right? So you want to be modern, but somehow you need to celebrate your past. And I think it's a very hard dichotomy creatively to do. And I think what you were able to do with the Secret Garden was definitely amazing. Of course, you can do a Secret Garden every season, but the fact that you were able to come up with at least one idea without even being part of the Coach team, I think was brilliant. And I think is the hardest thing to do, because everybody can turn to digital. Everyone can do that. If you have money, you can go into an agency and they can do it for you. But I think what is going to make a brand stand out is to make sure that you are digital in the right way. So what is the digital coach way? What is the digital Kate Spade way? They're going to be very different. Putting a screen into a store means nothing, right? I think it's about creating that emotional connection and that bond. And I think without knowing too much about the brands internally, I think you nailed it. So well done and good luck.
Great. And then next is Riley Berner. So shout out to a fellow Cornhusker. Thanks, Riley. So Riley's was pretty fantastic. He really blew us away with his super creative and amazing full video, really high level of technical skill. I enjoyed visiting OTM for my shopping, to watch your shopping experience actually with the virtual assistant. I loved all the graphic feel when you were in OTM, the 2D, 3D, graphic rugs, and the use of the lighting was almost disco balls, fully interactive shopping experience, also going into different rooms, which you would say, oh, I'm not interested in that, and it took you back out. I think overall, very impressive, super clever, very forward thinking. I think fully, he went full on digital with the AR. Michelle, you would not even know what to do to put
I'm like,
it would be really good. Put you in an AR device to experience really shopping in a completely different way. And, I mentioned in the beginning, Asia's going this way. And a lot of this is China is really a front runner in the experience and digital, and less shopping and more, how do I experience a store? So I think really well done and really thinking out of the box. Thank you so much. Very impressed.
Okay, Tarek, also incredible, I think. I think what I loved most about your work was, number one, incredible references. And I think everybody in my team knows that everything starts with a good reference, especially as you are presenting to people that don't know who you are, where you're from, and what you're trying to, portray. So I think before you went into the creative, you really took the time to understand, get the creative references, or really going through that creative process, which sometimes is a little bit laborious, but needs to happen. The Coach to Random idea is incredible. I think we're trying to figure out, do we do it for Coach? Do we do it for Kate? We were kind of fighting over it. So we think it can work for both. But I think what I loved about it was they was fully immersive. It was not just something that people use to take photos, but you can, first of all, get immersed into the experience. You can also showcase products. You can also hang out, right? There's a sense of community there. And then it kind of goes back to this idea of nature, which maybe was not a nod in there, but I think that's kind of like what we got from it. So all around, I think you were able to present a very big 360 activation. And sometimes I think that's the hardest part of creative people, especially as we build 3Ds. We kind of think about, like just the space itself, but you were able to think beyond just the build out. So congratulations on that. It was really terrific, and good luck.
Great. And then Vanna Wilkie. So Vanna had a really impressive coach-focused idea around, which I love as well, by the way, it's not Kate Spade, but I thought this is a really broad thinking idea of a coach hotel presentation, and really thinking truly out of our normal realm and beyond a brick and mortar experience, to think of a hotel using all the Coach kind of brand codes, targeting the Coach consumer. This was a fully immersive idea. I think the use and detail layered in throughout, looking at the customer, looking at the layers of how the rooms would be structured, naming the rooms after bags. I think that the crossing your T's and dotting your I's of the full experience for a customer was really fantastic. I personally loved the desk as well, with the big C on the front and the signature C behind, but less obvious moments in her presentation too, are more how the C could be layered into the rooms through a pillow or a blanket, and just really, you know, the tabby bag, the puffy tabby as a display on the wall, and engaging that customer to see the product differently was really unique, and thinking very smartly, I think, and could be the future, Gio. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I would just say whatever happens here, there might be a consultant fee or something. Depends how much you are, but maybe we'll do an hourly fee or something.
Yeah, even the umbrella in the corner of the room was Coach with the logo. So really impressive and so well done. And I think the idea could be a Coach hotel on its own, or I think her idea was also layering in. It could be taking a current home and doing a takeover, hotel and doing a takeover, which different ideas within are really brilliant. So thank you, really well done, very impressive.
Okay, so Rawl, do you want to do a little intro, or you or anybody from, or maybe Mike? I see he's smiling. Look, we're waiting for the results, right?
I'm excited. You've got me in suspense. I mean, all of the projects submitted were incredible. So again, congratulations to everybody. I'm blown away. I wish I could be a sliver as creative as all of you. So.
Oh my God, I was gonna say last night we had Brad Pitt at the Oscars. We might need something like that, but maybe Raul, or maybe, I don't know, John, you guys can be our Brad Pitt tonight.
I think I look more like Brad Pitt than John, huh?
Okay, I'll let you guys decide that.
Come on, not me. Come on. Why not me?
Mike is completely out of the question.
Oh, I love it. Competition. Paige, I'd love to hear more about that competition. Oh my God, at WindowsWear. Do you guys want to do a little intro? Otherwise, I'm happy to start with the third place, and then
I'll let John, if he wants to add something. I just want to say it again. These were it was hard to pick 10. There were several questions, you know, we voted and stuff like that. I want to say to the 10 finalists that we gave these 10 projects to Coach, and we had no saying in who the winner is. We committed to, we only committed to give Coach and Kate Spade the 10 finalists, not knowing who they're gonna pick, right? They sent us a list last night, and the list is here. And again, you guys are amazing. You guys are already winners. Everybody's gonna get something from this, which is nice. But my takeaway is just keep taking advantage of situations like this, and because that's gonna put you ahead of the game. Make use. Another very important thing that Nicole and I, Nicole Timmy from WindowsWear and I, when we were trying to find the finalists on Instagram and on social media, some of them were hard to find, okay? And that is something that John and I always, in the office, we always talk about, because I think social media is part of, like, whether we like it or not, it's part of, like, or appearance and or name and whatever. So, you know, the simple thing as just picking your real name on social media and not like baby_9397XO, you know, it will make it recruited like Hillary, you know, easier job to find you and to see who you are and stuff like that. So simple things as that, especially now when social media is super important. Presentation is everything. Gio and Chris were agreeing on one of the rules of this contest was we need to pick projects that are well presentable. It doesn't matter if the idea, well, it does matter that idea is great, but they also have to be presentable, because, you know, you're presenting to Gio and Chris from Coach and Kate Spade. They have not much time to go over this. So the easier that you put it for them is the more chances you have with them. John, do you want to add something?
John is in agreement with everything you said, including your Brad Pitt comment.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I would, you know, obviously I can continue to say words, but saying more words adds the suspense. So I don't want to continue the suspense.
Okay.
My hands are sweaty. I'm nervous now. You know?
Yeah, and Raul, what we said we're gonna do, right? We're gonna have the first winner for Coach and Kate actually presents. You know, so I know we've talked about it, but we do want to have, you know, so if you don't have your presentation ready, you know, in the next 5 minutes, 2 of you guys will be presenting. So make sure you have it ready while we keep kind of counting down to number one.
I'll give you a minute so to have your presentation ready. Gio, just to be clear, I think the winners are going to be announced from third place second place, and then first place.
That is correct.
Wanna
Yes,
see
so I can.
first.
Amazing. So I think we can start with the third place. You guys ready? I am.
When you-
I am. We'll be talking about this for a few weeks now. So a third place, we have Riley. Riley, congratulations. So for people that, Riley, do you want to say a few words before I start? Maybe we can hear from you first.
Yeah, that's cool. I just want to say I'm humbled for the opportunity and the award. I mean, thank you, Michael, for giving me encouragement. Thank you, Mom, for keep pushing me and believing in me. And I just want to say once again, thankful for the opportunity, guys.
Amazing. And I think for people that don't remember, I think Riley was the most digitally pushed creative that I think Chris spoke to. I definitely think you went over and above. So I actually forgot what you were studying. Say that again. What were you studying?
Merchandising, fashion merchandising.
You might get into a digital world soon, my friend. I'm just saying it out there. Keep your option open. There's a lot of good stuff there. And a lot of like, I think what we are seeing out there, especially what Chris was saying in Asia, but you know what? Why not in North America? You know, there might be some smaller brands that might be able to, you know, take the lead. So I think you definitely have a rosy path ahead for your career. So congratulations again.
Thank you much.
I want to make sure, Riley, you are the winner of Coach gift card and letter good up to $95 value. So
wow, that's better than the Oscars.
Yes, we'll contact you for to arrange those prizes, Riley.
Great. Okay, and then I have the opportunity to announce the second place runner-up. Are you guys ready? Oh, they're so fast. Vanna Wilkie. Thank you so much, Vanna. She was the last one I shared. Gio and I and the teams were so impressed with the just out of the box idea and all the detail that went into it. Truly. And again, you guys, honestly, this was really hard. There was so much good in all of your presentations. So but thank you, Vanna. Congratulations. I think really, really well done.
Vanna, you are the winner of a gift card from Coach, I think you selected, and a bag up to $395 value.
Wow, that might be as good as a pillow tabby, which by the way is sold out, but maybe we'll restock it. Do you want to say a few words maybe?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. No tears, right?
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for like the opportunity. Yeah, thank you to like my professor and everything. Like I worked really hard on this project and it was so much fun, like, you know, creating like a little like hotel to kind of like immerse like all my ideas in of like what I had for like Coach. So yeah, I'm just like really glad like and happy like the way it came out. So thank you guys so much.
Amazing, amazing. Rola, how do we move to first place? I think we need to pause for a second, right? How do we do it now that we're not physical? I wish there was a drum or there was like a little.
I can make a drum on my desk.
Or no, you don't. So we have, as you guys know, we have two first place. Just to clarify that we have one for Coach for the internship and one for Kate Spade. So I think as we go through the next slide very soon, not yet, we will announce both. So I will start with the Coach winner and then Chris will kind of take the lead on giving some notes on the Kate Spade winner.
They're gonna be. They're announcing the same slide, Gio. But
no, I know. I'll start with. I think Coach is on the left in case. I think I've learned this by heart right now. And then both of you guys will present your project. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, and the winners are.
Yay, Paige and Tarek! Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is terrific. Again, even if we have, as we said, everybody here is a winner, but you two definitely stood out. And I'm going to maybe take Paige through and then Chris, I'll leave to you, Tarek, for a second. Mm-hmm. I think Paige, as I said, you definitely stood out for me, especially it was so coach researched, like the way I see heritage and the past and the present and the future merging is everything that we talk about at Coach. I feel that you were part of our meetings, like you definitely know how to talk the language. I think the level of research was very deep for me. Of course, I love everything to do with nature. I think, you've seen definitely what we've done with Coach Forever around the world. There was a lot of work there, and I think it transpired through the creativity. But what I liked the most was the hard work that went behind it to get it to look that way. It was not just a bunch of references. And again, no one did that, but I think you definitely went the extra mile. So I cannot wait to have you join us for a few months to be part of the team and maybe put some of that into practice, and I think that's the whole point about the internship is you be part of the projects, and your ideas are as good as any other one's ideas in the team. So can't wait to have you join, even if it's going to be virtual, but we'll definitely be seeing more of you very soon.
Great.
Well done.
Congratulations, Paige and everyone. Tarek, I know your project was Coach. I hope you're excited to join with Kate Spade. Again, I said it in the chat. I think this was incredibly challenging to pick just a few of you guys. Were all so well done. Tarek, your project really spoke to us from very strong on all aspects, really great ideas, really well executed in the renderings, the color usage, the full 360 thinking, just really, really impressive overall. And you'll be meeting Alana in a minute, but we're excited, super excited for you to join us on this journey. And, I'm sure you'll learn a lot, but I'm confident from both Paige and Tarek that we'll learn a lot from you guys as well. So before it starts, I'm going to say, don't be afraid, always speak out and share your thoughts. Don't be afraid when you come into a different environment. And we're just super excited to have this experience, to spend time with all of you tonight, and really excited for these two just to take the next step forward.
Amazing. I'm sure everybody now is curious to see
their projects, the pressure.
So in no particular order, or Tarek or Paige, whoever wants to go first, it would be great for everybody to see what you guys put together for us. Maybe Rawl, they can each of them.
Paige, are you able to share your screen, I guess, or you want me to get your project, or if you're able to share it?
I can go first.
Perfect.
Yeah. I have mine pulled up.
Okay, whenever you're
ready. He was like, I was ready. You told me to be ready. I was ready.
It says I can't screen share.
It was 1 second.
Okay.
Everybody
also,
smile.
I just want to say thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Really didn't have anything prepared because I really didn't expect to win, just because everyone's projects were so amazing and they were so good. So I really appreciate it. And thank you so much. I'm so glad you liked my work. Just really cool and very rewarding for me. So let me share my screen really fast, make it full screen. Sorry, ignore all my other tabs. And my mom texting me, she left the call.
She's like, why did I leave?
She went to pick my sister up from school.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's my intro slide. So I'm gonna just skip past her really fast. One thing I just really wanted to focus on in the beginning of my presentation was just kind of addressing why it's important to rethink the way we do retail. Just because because of COVID and everything, things have changed so much, and it's important that we realize, especially now, it's a good time to rethink what's worked in the past and what hasn't worked, and kind of learn from that. And one thing just again to keep in mind is that retail stores just kind of been going downhill a bit, just in the sense that it's so much more convenient for people to shop online. So that's one of the things I wanted to touch on in the beginning. I'm going to go through the changing landscape a bit faster because everyone did a little bit about that. But again, I just wanted to focus on technology and sustainability because those were two things as I was doing research I really wanted to focus on because I felt like they were Just really important things to be aware of, because obviously as technology improves, sustainability will as well. And technology, again, just makes things more convenient. And if shopping in store is more convenient, more people will want to do it. And it's about bringing that, just that conveniency aspect to stores, just so both online and stores are both convenient for people. And then sustainability was something I've been really passionate about, and something, again, I really wanted to highlight. So that's also why I brought sustainability into my project. And then one thing I really did want to focus on, and where I got most of my inspiration, was in the past. Like I said earlier, it's really important that we continue to innovate and realize what's worked and what hasn't worked, because that's how we learn best. And that's really just the way we can continue to push ourselves to be even better than before. So that's kind of what led me to my project idea, The Secret Garden. I really took inspiration from the past, even though it was like hundreds of years ago in the past. I was always really interested in Rococo paintings, and my favorite book growing up was The Secret Garden. So I really wanted to combine the two of them for this project, and that's where I took the majority of my inspiration from. So my store, in my mind, I really wanted it to be an experience and something people really wanted to continue to go back to, because that would drive more people to be in stores if they were experiencing something, if they were going somewhere that was not only entertaining, but they could shop and just really have a good time. So the front of the store, I imagine, would look like a pretty normal retail store in your head, very clean, white. The only really interesting thing about the store would be this green living wall. That's just kind of an accent wall. But other than that, that's pretty much just the front room would look pretty plain. So if you didn't know, you would just think it was a regular like Coach or Kate Spade store and just be shopping around. But if you were in the know, you would be able to pull out an app, and you would kind of notice that if it's kind of like a VR, if you look through the app, you see certain things. And I imagine there'd be like butterflies in certain parts of the store, but as you get towards the living wall, you notice there's a bunch of butterflies, and that's kind of how you know that the secret wall is actually, or that the living wall is actually a secret door to the back of the store, and ultimately the secret garden. So I imagine when you first walk into the secret garden, there was this wall of, like I said, I was inspired by Rococo paintings, and something I always really wondered was what the ladies in these paintings were like. So I thought it'd be really interesting if you were able to interact with these paintings, and maybe they were holding some product, or just you were able to interact with them as a customer, because I thought that would be really cool. And then another way to utilize technology, if you all had a different experience or could actually interact with the store, you're also building a personal connection with the store. And then kind of once you turned around, so this would kind of be on the entrance wall. And then when you turn around is the big center piece of the garden. And this is where I imagine most of the product would be displayed. So lots of big twisting trees and luscious flowers, and really just kind of like overgrown and mysterious and very enchanted. And then I also imagined it would be really cool if the garden changed with the seasons, because the world is constantly changing, and constantly updating the store would also keep it fresh and interesting. So I just made some mood boards for the different seasons. This is my spring mood board. And then I have summer, fall, and winter. And then this is just like a very crude layout of my store. So you'd kind of walk in through the first doors on the right. And that's the front entry room, again, pretty clean and white, looks like a normal store. And then the living wall would be right around the center of your screen. And then the secret garden in the back. And there's a separate door at the back entrance. So the whole like magical experience of going through the secret door doesn't get ruined for you by people leaving. And then again, I just wanted to kind of focus on like kind of recap my just project a bit, because I really wanted it to be a magical experience for people and something they wanted to come back to, and something that they couldn't really find anywhere else. And then again, the being interactive was really important for me, because you want to build a connection between the consumer and the space, so they again will want to come back. And you could also do that. I didn't mention it as much, but through the app, I talked about it in my video, like the app also being used to like do returns and things like that, and help you learn more about products by like scanning the barcode or something like that. And then again, sustainability, I imagine like the store would have really biodegradable packaging and solar panels and be really clean and sustainable, and just have, because that's something that customers are starting to look for as well. So that's my entire presentation. Thank you all so much again. I really appreciate this. This is such a cool thing for me to put together, and I really had a lot of fun doing it. Yeah, and that's about it. Thank you all so much.
Amazing. Thank you, Paige, for that.
Yeah, congratulations. Okay. Tarek, you get
Yes. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you all. I've been sitting here shaking the whole time, mixture of coldness and nervousness. And it's an honor to be a winner with you, Paige. Your presentation was beautiful. I loved everything about it. And thank you to all of the finalists. Super inspiring projects. I'm gonna drop my Instagram just shamelessly to stay connected with you all. And Giovanni had said before, you know, we are the futures of design, and it'd be amazing to somehow stay in touch with you all. And so I'm gonna go ahead and present.
Rawl and John, you guys should be able to help with that too.
Yes.
Get them all connected. That's a cool idea.
Let's see, allows to share screen. Google Chrome. Just 1 second, I have to give it privacy. I actually had to reset my computer recently. So.
Everyone should follow Giovanni actually while we're having a moment, because he posts the most of anyone I know, and you can see everything happening at Coach. It's pretty amazing.
And he's runs in real time.
Yeah, and sometimes his exercising moments too.
Yes, which
fitness guru, guys.
Tarek, if you cannot access, maybe Rawl. I don't know if we have. Are you having issues to access the?
I think I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Amazing. Okay, great.
Perfect. And can you all see this?
Yes.
Let me go ahead and make it large screen. So, you know, as it was mentioned, I did, you know, focus on Coach, but the sort of lessons and the references that were applied here can be applied to Kate Spade as well. And so the front page really implies what we'll be discussing in the submission. In the center, you have the consumer. Above the consumer is, you know, this cloud of thoughts, ideas, surrounded by arches and flowers, which speaks to the theme of terraria. And so I start with the letter where I sort of introduce some key elements that really helped in inspiring this submission. Really, that the fact that the future is unpredictable and we can't really tell what's in the future. So when we talk about designing for the future, it's really just us throwing on our present conceptions of what the future is into physical space. And that's not necessarily appropriate. So then I talk about the future as this place of the unknown, but we need to acknowledge the unknown. We need to engage with the uncertainty, and we need the timelessness of Coach and Kate Spade to continue to transcend synthetic temporalities. And so I do employ a material culture, ecological anthropology sort of lens to understanding what exactly is the store. What does the store usher in ideas about, and what sort of ritual bonds happen in the store? And so we sort of look at the concept of material as becoming. We want to embrace meaningful impermanence, experience dynamic materialism, and engage with sensuous materiality. We have to let the ebbs and flows of fashion bring us closer to the future. And so we have here, you know, future nature material. How do they all work together? We take from Tim Ingold, who wrote about, you know, toward an ecology of materials. He says, culture furnishes the form and nature the materials. So speaking about how we have to focus on material as a mediator of the relationship between human and nature. Redefining the shopping experience requires viewing material as becoming. But on top of that, there's another driver in the design of the future, and that's nature. Nature is a behemoth. She's a giver, she's a taker. She's both artist and art. She's a conversationalist, and we need to engage her in dialogue. Our perspectives of nature alter our perceptions, and we know that nature is the greatest creator. Her designs are never fait accompli, but always appear complete. There's durability and flexibility and refinement in the unfinished. Simply put, nature is dynamic. So we need to turn to Coach and to Kate Spade to understand what exactly is the social practice of material culture. When we look on the websites, we see the Ergo brand bag, we see embedded in nature. It's almost like a fruit ready to be picked by the consumer, who can turn it into a pie, who could turn it into a cake, who could turn it into a tart. It's not finished yet, because it allows the consumer to engage with it. And the consumer is arguing with the material. And we can take that, you can take those inferences again from the website, where we have these stills of the making process. We sort of see the dye being put in. We can imagine running our hands through that powder, listening to the water droplets of dye. Again, repositioning ourselves in relation to the sensuous materiality of the world. Even the language, new things for right now and decades to come. In 1970, Heidegger wrote that things are with us, that everything is a gathering of materials and movement, and to witness a thing is to join with the processes of its ongoing formation. And Brand writes that an important aspect of design is the degree to which the object involves you in its own completion. So that really speaks to the fact that humans need to be embedded in the becoming of a material. And so I got to thinking, how do you do that? How do you represent that in a store? In a store where we can take the consumers and the material back to nature. And so I thought about it, what about a terrarium? So it creates an ecology of human and material. It's a space for both consumer and craft to embrace in the dynamism of themselves and of each other. It's strategically designed to facilitate movement, and it engages the consumer in multiple journeys of becoming, of the material, of the brand, of the human. It requires us to ask questions of scale, of becoming, of belonging. It allows us to, we're embedded in the processual, relational, and distributed properties of material. And in the same way a terrarium facilitates the growth of flora, the Coach terrarium provides a space for materials and humans to carry on, undergoing continual modulation as they do. The terrarium draws out and brings forth the potentials imminent in a world of becoming. Simply put, the terrarium is a world of becoming. And so the store is inspired by a terrarium. The store is shaped as a circle. It's surrounded by local flora. And the elements of the store appear almost lightweight and easily movable, which speaks to the importance of meaningful impermanence in the face of future uncertainty. So we start with the structure. We have the circular platform, but we have also a circular entrance, which represents openness and introduces the consumer to the theme of circularity, which again is further perpetuated by the floor platform. And these arches, as you can sort of see, they're almost lightweight. They also represent openness and flow, while also creating boundaries between the different parts of the store. And we have the dome, and the dome is made entirely of glass, save for these circular rings, which emulate water droplets, which form on the sides of terrarium. You can sort of see the shadows of that on the floor. At the center, we have the consumer, and that's a space for the consumer to meet with Coach designers. And when you look at from the top, the seats are arranged such that they mirror a blossoming flower. And so the flower statue in the running water also continues the theme of nature. And Ong in 1982 wrote that sight isolates, but sound incorporates, which is the purpose of this right here. Then we have, if these leaves could talk, these leaves are actually made of recycled leather, and you can go up to them and put on virtual reality goggles where you observe the history of that specific piece of leather, where it started, which fashion show it was introduced. And to understand materials is to be able to tell their histories of what they do and what happens. Again, continuing that theme of material as dynamic, of it having its own sort of sense of self that we need to understand. Don't miss the forest for the trees. These shelves are shaped like trees for the display of ready-made products. And so when you're in the center and you want to design a bag or a sweater or whatever product with your designer, you can also walk over to the forest to find inspiration for that. And finally, we have altered reality. So I really wanted to play with scale. I think that when we play with scale, what that allows us to do is sort of question our reality. And so we shape our perspectives based on how tall things are, right? And so scale directs attention to the relation between a work and a location in both space and time. And we measure it against our own bodies, and we're so used to seeing things a normal size, right? But what happens if we play with scale? You know, what if lilies towered over us? If plant vases consumed entire walls? If we became part of terraria while playing with terraria? No one says that can't happen in the future. And so our perception changes, and as a result, our realities do too. A changed perception of reality based on the possibility of the impossible. Is that not the future? And so this is just a final render of the store without the dome. And none of them, you know, were able to make the call just because they're in Madrid and London and, you know, hours ahead of us. But especially grateful for Maricruz Pereira at Inditex, Jale Sari, who's a freelance architect in Dubai, Kara, who is a dear friend of mine at University College London, Mason Wolf, one of my best friends from Johns Hopkins, giving me the opportunity to always just rattle his brain with all of these ruminations, to my sister and my beautiful best friends for always encouraging me to make the impossible possible. And we know that the saying goes, it takes a village, but I say it only takes a store. Thank you.
It truly is the Oscars.
It is the Oscars. So I think after having heard from Paige and Tarek, I'm a little speechless, and I feel, I don't know, like it's a lot to take in. What did you guys think about the project? I don't know if, I know there was a few comments on the side, but any live comments? And I do agree about Tarek felt like poetry. Somebody mentioned that. Sometimes it's about the project, also about how you come to the fruition of the concept. They're both as important. If you have a great idea, but you cannot sell it, that idea is never going to happen because nobody's going to give you the money to do it. So I think selling it is as important as the concept. So I think both of you guys, or everybody, did such a great job about presenting, which is as important as the concept. So, okay, where do we go from here?
We go from Hillary and Diana
yes,
to introduce Alana.
Yes, hi everyone. We'd like to introduce you to your mentors. So Alana Lavial. Alana, am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Great, good. So Alana is from Kate Spade, and I won't say too much. I'll let her introduce herself. And then Rachel for Coach, unfortunately, will not be able to speak, but Gio will on her behalf. Rachel is not here right now. So Alana, take it away.
Great, thank you, Diana. So yeah, my name's Alana. I work at Kate Spade. My title is Manager Windows Concepts. And so I design the window displays for our specialty and outlet stores. It's kind of been an evolving process, but it's really focused on 3D props, 2D props, and also store interiors, takeovers, pop-ups, and outposts. So really a holistic view of everything 3D production-wise for VM. So I'm really basically a designer. And I work with Pedro under Chris and Michelle, and with Mark as well. And I would just want to say I loved looking through all 10 of the presentations. We were all so impressed and really blown away by everyone's skill and super creative ideas. And it was really hard to pick, but to the top 3 finalists and Tarek, we're so excited to work with you. We have a very small and mighty team. So I'm really looking forward to having your incredible mind and really inspirational ideas to help us this summer, you know, keep moving things forward for the brand. So really excited and looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Alana. And something to share too for everyone here, because I know sometimes in school, we're so tunnel vision and looking at what brand do I want to work with, especially if you're coming from creative and you know, you're so focused on the brands that are known. There are companies out there. Alana, you know, joined us from a very interesting company, and keep your eyes out. She joined us from Arsenal. What it's a production company, right, Alana?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about that, just so that everyone can hear about the different, you know, the different avenues you can take, and not necessarily looking at like the obvious companies, but you know, the companies that support these companies as well.
Yeah, so I think I've had a really interesting background because I've kind of got a holistic sense of windows and fashion brands as a whole, from the brand side to the production side. So I went to Parsons, but I got a business degree. So I kind of went to an art school, but studying business. And then from there, I actually started working at Alice and Olivia, where I was working on the windows there. And I was grateful enough to receive a WindowsWear award when I was there, which was a great experience. But from Alice and Olivia, I then went to Arsenal, which is a production company. So working there, brands would basically hand us their window concepts, and we would have to figure out how to produce them, build them, ship them, install them. So kind of like the back end, basically what Kristin on our team does now. So that gave me a really incredible knowledge of fabrication, production, materials, all the kind of logistics that are involved in creating a window display, which I use today in creating SKU books and tech decks and all of like the kind of like the back end of how you make the windows come to life and work in all of the stores that we send them to. So Yeah, and Deanna, I know that I think you found me on LinkedIn. So a good example of how you should always have your LinkedIn profile updated with your job description and keywords. You never know what opportunities will come your way.
Exactly. Thank you. And Gio, do you want to say a few words about Rachel Harding from
Yes.
Coach?
So the mentor, of course, we have a global team, and actually she's based in London for the next few months because of COVID. So she's asleep right now, but I know that she's very excited to meet you, Paige. I don't know that we'll set up time to make sure that you guys can meet each other. Actually, believe it or not, Rachel joined us during COVID. She moved here from London. We've actually never been in the office together, but she's already been with us for over a year. It kind of shows how dynamics we have become in terms of how we work. But you'll be part of the larger team, so we'll welcome you virtually very, very soon. So
thank you.
Perfect.
So I think everyone's introduced themselves already, right? Do we have anyone that still needs an introduction, or otherwise we'll open it up to Q&A?
Yeah, I think so. I think last year we had, of course, it was a little different because we're in real life, and we had everybody around the room, and there was a lot of questions that came through around roles, responsibilities, the creative process, so think about what you've presented, but also think about larger. I know most of you guys are thinking about your career, and also maybe you have questions about Coach or Kate Spade or WindowsWear. So no question is a bad question. So this is, we've allocated like 15 to 20 minutes to kind of for you guys to ask any questions that you may have. So this is really, for you guys, but also for your parents or even for your teachers to ask any questions to us.
Yeah, all finalists, please make sure to ask a question if you have it. You guys deserve like this moment to ask Gio, Chris, anybody on the Tapestry team, if you have any question or an advice. Maybe it's an advice about the future and stuff.
Yeah.
Please raise your hand.
We're not scary, I promise.
You can put it in the chat as well if anyone has a question.
I was just about to say, when I was an intern, I was trying to do this when I was very young. I would always take the opportunity and I would never shut up. So don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Some things never change.
Shocking, isn't it?
I think it's my Italian blood. What can I say? I'm blaming it on that. My team disagrees. I think Hali raised their hands. Hey, Hali.
Hi. I think my question is, what methods do you guys commonly use now to find new talent, or how do you recommend that we put ourselves out there and make ourselves known to you guys?
Diana, do you want to start? Maybe
I was going to. I didn't want.
You're like the queen. You're the queen of talent.
Well, Hillary and I support our creative groups. We not only do we look at applications, so yes, go ahead, apply. It's not true that HR doesn't look at applications. We do for some roles. We happen to get referrals sooner than we get to the actual applications, but the first place we look at is that. Then we will look at LinkedIn, and we'll want to see as much detail as possible. So keeping your LinkedIn profile up to date is something we highly encourage. Having your portfolio on accessible on LinkedIn, please without a password, so we can see really quickly whether your background aligns with the opportunity. In addition to just actively sourcing and looking at where people went to school or certain companies, networking. I know it's such a cliche and an overused word. I'll have to point to Gio as an example. He's someone that's always networking. When he has a role open, he reaches out to people that he knows and asks for any referrals. WindowsWear in particular, when we were looking for Rachel Harding, that was one place, one resource we tapped into. And just being very, I think, what's the word I'm looking for? Intentional. If you're looking, I'll give you an example. We had an intern at Tapestry that had graduated from, I forget where she had graduated from, but she wrote down a list of 100 companies that she was interested in. And on LinkedIn, it is a labyrinth. Like you can look at one company and see this person went from here to that company. And if you've worked here, you should look at this company. Play around on LinkedIn. Make the list, reach out to anyone who has graduated, from your alma mater, from anyone who is now working. Look at where you've gone to school and where those people are working. Reach out to the HR people, the talent acquisition people, the recruiters, and just start making connections on LinkedIn. So you start building your network, and it's a little more accessible that way. Say yes to everything, every conversation, every, virtual meeting, anything you can sign up for, get to know, especially now, everything is easier being virtual. But when we look for talent, we really look at our own resources, our network, and then trying to stay in touch with, prior people that have also interviewed here, but referrals as well. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much.
Good.
And look, and obviously, Hali, we're at WindowsWear. We're trying to help all you guys solve this problem, right? Help you connect directly, right? Like live in a world where it's click and buy, right? So as an opportunity, it should be that easy and that seamless. And I also just want to give credit to Gio. Obviously Gio knows this, but I just want to give him credit through this forum. We started this with him and one brand. And obviously he took this is new territory, what we're doing, creating a competition in order to hire people, using the latest technology to solve problems in new ways. Obviously Tapestry is a publicly traded billion-dollar company, right? Not everything is so easy when you're in a structure. But at the same time, as you probably have met everyone on the call from Tapestry, they all have very similar values and a similar way of thinking. So, things like this are not necessarily possible if you don't have the right human beings and the right companies and the right partners to be able to very overtly provide opportunities, like literally a click of a button on a website type opportunities. So. This actually has inspired, when we launched this the first time with Coach and Gio, doing this the first year. And I know that Dan, you were here in New York. That was the first iteration that we did this, and then since then we added Kate Spade. And then we even thought about maybe potentially even more within Tapestry. And then other brands now want to copy this model. So I do want to give a lot of credit to the Tapestry team to putting this together and making it so simple that it doesn't matter who you are, where you're at, where you come from, what your background is. You can be in Detroit, you can be in New York, you can be wherever you're at. That as long as you've got the right, what matters is your ideas, the way that you present it. Who you are, putting yourself out there. That's ultimately the most important thing. And we as a company, WindowsWear, we're doing this behind the scenes, and we want to continue to provide even more opportunities like this to people like you, where you guys are really the best of the best. And Tarek, something that you had mentioned, wanting to stay connected. We're all going to stay connected to each other. This is not a one deal. Tarek, I feel like you're a fashion philosopher. That's the name I'm gonna give you. I like alliteration, like WindowsWear, fashion philosopher. And I think what you said was really on point. Obviously, your presentation was incredible. But in staying connected to each other, and working together as a collaboration. Obviously, you guys came together within this forum as a competition, and competition is double-edged, right? Competition could be you're competing, right? Which means there can only be certain winners and loser and not necessarily winners. And then there's collaboration, right? But obviously we believe that things like competition actually help to develop you to become better. And part of the reason why we asked Paige and Tarek to show the presentations was because we could all learn, something that they did. I mean, Tarek, I thought it was very smart that you did the note, the letter from the designer and the acknowledgement to the people that supported you on the back end. And Paige, I thought that your ideas were very innovative. You thought sort of the future and you took it back to like the 1700s. I thought that was an interesting juxtaposition. But we obviously want to help develop you guys as well. So obviously putting you in touch with other peers within other schools, we think that you're the best within your schools. There's still also great students at other schools. So just having this network here and us connecting you guys will also help to provide you guys opportunities. As when you're our ages, I'm 39, you're going to be hiring each other, right? So you're not going to have to look at people who are older than you that have been in the industry for longer. You're just going to have to look at your network, people that you've known for many years to hire you. And that's going to be equally important as you take your career journeys. So I just wanted to acknowledge that on behalf of WindowsWear.
John, thank you for the shout out. And I want to add a few notes on that. But the first one is I've become friends with all of the 10 finalists from last year on Instagram. Actually, only 9 because one person still doesn't have an Instagram account. So 9 out of 10. So I do hope that, we'll stay in touch. And I hope this is just the beginning. With some of them, I even had one-on-one coffee chats. I know Chris and I we are here. Like, this is just the beginning. I know we can only get 2 of you guys into the door right now, but we are here for support and sometimes even seeing things on Instagram. And there is the question, I follow Daniel's sketches every night. I think you post always something super cute and fun. So I follow you every time that you post something. So the networking piece is critical, right? So you guys, even without us, need to be connected. And I also wanted to touch upon why I think this is so special to me, which I actually didn't share last year. But, I left Italy through an internship. I wanted to, leave the south of Italy, a small little village. Most of you guys may even guess why. Very traditional, and I'm not traditional at all. Kind of wanted to be myself. And I think the internship gave me freedom. And everybody looks at this opportunity a different way, whether it's creative freedom or whether it's personal freedom. So just take what you have. And again, if it didn't work out this time, try again. Yeah. I think there was something that Gaga actually mentioned when she won the Oscar last year. I don't know if anyone remembers what she said. Maybe not. No, she said something along the lines of, it doesn't matter how many times you get beaten down and you fail. What matters is how many times you stand up and you keep fighting for your dreams. So she didn't have an easy life, right, Gaga? But she didn't stop. People said she had a bad voice, she had an ugly nose, whatever. Look at her. She's one of the most selling, artists out there. It doesn't matter whether you're an artist or a musician or a VM or a creative, but don't give up. The fact that you didn't win this one doesn't mean you're not going to be a winner in life. So just take that and, keep thinking big. But again, maybe we go back to questions before I take away the last 12 minutes.
Well said.
By chatting, but it's so true, right?
Does anybody else have a question, guys? Or somebody wants to ask for advice?
I had a question.
Sure.
Jocelynne.
So how do I say this? Well, I've been having this problem, I kind of want to do a lot of different things. Do you feel like it's better to focus on one thing than to learn, be well-rounded, or I don't know how to explain it?
No, I think, Chris, do you want to say something? Or otherwise why don't you go? I've spoken a lot.
You speak a lot always. It's okay.
Joanna's laughing. Look at her. She's like, yeah.
So I think it's a really, sorry, I have a cat in my lap. It's a really good question, because I think in your heart, you're going to know when you find what you love. So you might be seeking a lot of things because you haven't found that one thing that truly connects you yet, or you feel great about moving forward with. So I think it could fall either way. I do think focusing at times, or maybe narrowing your focus, will definitely help you move forward. But if you're not feeling really grounded and haven't, you kind of haven't found that exact thing you're loving, that may be why you're seeking other things as well. That's a kind of roundabout answer, but that's I think to me kind of what happens with a lot of, as you're younger, there's so many opportunities out there, or especially right now, things to learn digitally. Do I go digitally? Do I go more, lo-fi, hi-fi? How do you go forward? But I would encourage you as you move forward to try and focus. Gio, I'm sure you have something to add.
I was just gonna say, actually nothing to add, but maybe I'm curious to hear from some of the guys in the team.
Yeah.
There is, I know we have Pedro, we have Joanna. I don't know how did you guys find your lane? I think Pedro, I think this is a question that they asked you last year, but kind of curious to kind of see how did you, and maybe you're still looking for it, I don't know, but be good to hear from you too.
Sure. How did I find my lane? I think it's just really, I never looked for a job in visual merchandising, and I never looked for a job in window displays. I just had a design background and could take a sketch from a hand sketch to a 3D model to a workable drawing that people can build off of. And then it wasn't until, collaborating with other amazing team members and experts like producers and project managers that took those ideas and brought them to reality. And that really made me realize that, anything is possible, because trust me, if I could design a fashion window, anyone could design a fashion window. It's really just taking the design principles and the design methodology and applying it. And that's the beauty of design.
Thank you, Pedro.
Did we answer your question? Yeah, great.
I have a question too, or just, I guess, advice in general. So maybe a couple of us can feel this too, but I have 1 year left of college, and I'm just wondering what advice you have for me, whether it's like socially with my friends, career for post-college, or just in general. Give me some words of wisdom.
Wow, that's a very big question.
I guess maybe there's like something that you wish you would have done more of when you were younger.
It's funny. I was actually going there. So I think I kind of left, I left university and kind of moved out. So I actually did branding at university in Oxford, and then left Europe, but for Coach actually, which is amazing. But there was something about exploring, and I think I didn't actually know what VM was when I got into VM for my first role. Believe it or not, I was a cashier at Uniqlo, working Saturdays, Sundays, and I ended up merchandising a store for an opening. And then I got off. The guy was like, "Wait, this guy from Japan came over. He was a big boss in Japan, and he came over, and he was like, 'Wait, did you do that yourself?' And I'm like, 'Well, yeah, I have 2 hands, and I just did it.' I was like, 'How did you do that?' No, even my best VM in Japan can do that." I'm like, "Well, that's nothing. I can do that." And then my career started. So again, branding, merchandising, a little different, but I think if you have the principles at the beginning, I think even to Pedro's point, like you can kind of find your way around. But for me right now, as you have a year left, I think start seeing who is out there, start building your network, start looking at what brands you feel more comfortable with. Like, for example, I could not do this job for every single brand. For me, I really need to love the brand, and I need to admire the values especially in the creative worlds, it's very hard that you're going to work 9 to 5, my friends. So I think you really need to be passionate about the people you work with and the brand you work for. And I think spend the last year, try to find that out, right? You know, for me, the goal was to leave Europe, move to the US, and it was to work for a brand that was very inclusive. Those were my 2 biggest things. And, you know, that's how I landed on Coach at the end. And they found me. I didn't even know what Coach was at the time because there was no Coach here. But I think you're going to spend this last 12 months you have to explore. And if you try and you don't like it, you can always, you know, look for something else. This is the right time. But once you get to a certain level, as you start moving brands, it doesn't look that great. So I think this is the right time for you to explore. I think Chris and I and many others on this call have been at Tapestry for many, many years. And it kind of shows that, you know, we spend time making sure there was the right choice, if that makes any sense. So a little bit similar to what we talked to Jocelynne, but a little bit in a different connotation. But explore, that's what I would say, and network. Meet as many people as you can. Whether it's in digital, merchandising, fashion, hospitality, hotels, catering, sports, it doesn't matter. It's all merging anyway right now. So all of the lines are blurred.
Thank you.
I have a question. So I am graduating this semester, and I've been looking at jobs and internships and things like that. And I've spoken with my wife, and we've agreed that if I got something really good, that we would just pick up and go anywhere. But I was just wondering how you guys got your start, and kind of what it took to get that first foot in the door to kind of start your path.
Yeah.
Chris, why don't you go first? Because your foot was before mine, a few years before mine.
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm absolutely younger than him. No, I think that's a really good question. I think it also links back a little bit to Riley and Jocelynne's question. So I think to what Gio said, be thoughtful about who you want to work for, but then I think be open, because you don't, you know, the perfect job isn't out there. So even once you get into the role, so I started my career at the Gap, actually, in stores, and even in Gap Kids, actually, and then I was able to move within the Gap into the corporate office from the field. So I started as an assistant manager, and similar to Gio, I just started making the store look pretty, and had no idea that I went to school for clothing, textiles, and merchandising, but didn't really know where I wanted to go within that. But I kind of fell into something and kept open my options. So I love what you're saying, that you've decided to, if a role comes up somewhere, you're willing to move for it, because that's what I did 5 times in my career, from Dallas to San Francisco to Tokyo to Shanghai to Nebraska for a little bit, and then to New York. But I do think if you're open to that, you can really, it opens up a lot of opportunities for you, and recruiters like Diana love that. I think that's important. I think always stay open, because what you think you want to do may not actually be where you land.
Yeah, because I know that you described you and your team as scrappy, and I love that, and I identify with it. And another word that I would add to that is hungry. Like, nothing is going to stop me from getting where I want to go.
Good.
And I just need to know what direction I'm going in, and that's it.
Nice.
That's amazing, Daniel. I love that you say that, because I share those values with you. I think people like you and your other finalists, I mean, if you guys have the minds, you know, I'm from Mexico, and I came to New York 10 years ago. This is my 10th year. And, you know, I came to New York with like a pair of jeans and a portfolio and like a few $100, and that's it, right? And because of life and because my luck or destiny and whatever you want to call it, I met John. And he was one of my first friends in New York City. And honestly, his friendship changed my life in New York. And I never wanted to like taking photos of windows wasn't like my ultimate dream, to be honest, but it was kind of like at the beginning, it was kind of like a way to build something like with two business partners. And then I ended up falling in love with it. And then knowing that we could build like a bigger company out of that was fantastic. So to your point and to what Riley was saying, just I think if you have in your mind clear your goal, you'll get there. It doesn't matter how you get there. It might take you longer than Riley, it might take you shorter than Paige, who knows? But like I think people who has like a focus and like they know what they want, they always get them. In my turn of like 10 years in New York, you know, I came here with a bunch of other Mexican friends, you know, they were from the same school or whatever. And I've seen people come and go, you know, all the time, right? At the beginning, I was getting very sad because, you know, I didn't have enough friends at the time. And it hurt every time that somebody left. And people would often say, you know, it was too difficult, you know, it was too complicated, you know, I couldn't make it. And now that I look in retrospective, of course, everybody's situation is different, but I don't know anybody who didn't work hard that is not here with me in the city still, you know? So people who left, in my opinion, aside from strange situations, was people who didn't try hard enough or who didn't want this long enough or good enough to be making it work in whatever sense. So just as Chris was saying, you know, take any job almost that you can at the beginning, because that will connect you with somebody that you don't know and that might give you your dream job. You know, I always have this rule of like, never say no to anything, you know, especially if I don't know that person, if I don't have that client yet, like I rarely say no to a thing. If somebody invites me for coffee, I'll go. If somebody asks me for advice, I'll go. If somebody wants to meet me for something, I'll go. If somebody invites me to a party, I'll go, you know? So
definitely that.
I also say if the Wayne State University people invite us to this Mexico town, he will go and I'll go with him. So
yeah. So, you know, just do all those little things and you guys get there. If you guys are already here, I'm not worried about you guys. You'll get there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and Dan, let me it's a great question. Look, everyone here from a professional standpoint is in New York City. New York City has a 400-year history of people packing up what they got. It's never the easiest thing in the world, and coming here, and the values that Gio shared about Tapestry, they're reflective of New York City values, and New York City is a city where, you know, people come here to make their dreams come true. So it's always forward looking. There's always risk, there's always uncertainty, but a place like New York has millions of people that have come here with much more dire circumstances than any of us will ever have, and they made it. So I just leave that thought, leave that seed, because that seed is something that a lot of people come here with, and it's something that Raul came here with, and many others. Gio, myself, Mike, you know, we're not necessarily from New York originally. There were risks that we took. You know, Mike and I had professional risks leaving the finance world to, you know, photographing windows, and now we're doing a competition to help place students at amazing companies, right? We would have never expected that. So, you know, just leave all of you with that thought.
Perfect. If nobody else, does anybody else have a question? We're about to wrap this. But if you have any other question or an advice, we'll be happy to respond it. Gio and Chris as well.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you one more time. I'm super honored to be here again this year, and it's so nice to see some familiar faces again and to see some new faces in the finalists, and just so grateful for this opportunity.
We're so happy to see your submission again, and just kind of like knowing that it will be just even better than last time, you know? So we're so happy. Just keep doing it, man.
Yeah, I told you guys last year you wouldn't see the end of me.
Bro, do we need to take a photo? Like smiling?
Yeah, how does this work? How does this work? I need to put on my...
Just look at your camera and smile. We'll take a photo of you. Okay. This is 3, 2, 1, and go. Stay there. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Oh my God, that sounded perfect. And by the way, Raul is a big fashion photographer. Follow him on Instagram. Obsessed.
Thanks.
Totally obsessed on the side.
He was my PR, and I don't pay him.
Oh my God. So I guess this is the end. I mean, I don't want this to end, but I know we have to. So look out for an invite on Instagram, whoever is going Instagram, because I'm gonna knock on your door in the next few hours. So you guys, we can stay in touch. We can put actions into words, but I do want to say congratulations to all of you again. So well done. Congratulations to our finalists. And most importantly, good luck to all 10. You know, like out there is competitive. For you guys to be here means you can do it. So don't stop. I think it goes back to what Daniel is saying. He's trying a second time. Just keep going. Yeah. Don't give up. So thank you guys.
Perfect. We'll be in touch with everybody to give you guys your finalist prize. Everybody is
yes,
got a gift from Coach or Kate Spade. So we'll be in touch with that.
Yep. And we'll be in touch with the interns for a more formal conversation around the program.
Perfect. Thank you guys. Good luck.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Congratulations.
Bye. Bye.